call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Alvarado Gill. Jones. No.
It's really tiresome to hear.
Thank you. Senator Jones, you are recognized.
Now, the other interesting thing about this effort is we all know this is going to fail on the ballot. This is a loser from the beginning. So what's the win? What's the upside for all of us here on the Senate floor to go blindly along with the governor's plan here? It's going to fail. And what's the only gain? I'll tell you what the only gain is. Governor Gavin Newsom is getting more headlines. He's getting more name ID, and he's creating a brand across the country so that he can run for president, and you're helping him.
AB 604 is an urgency measure, contains the new proposed congressional maps that will ultimately be the decision of California voters on November 4th. This bill will be in print for over 70 days. The maps will be available for insight from our voters, and ultimately they will have the say, and would remain in effect only until the Citizens Redistricting Commission certifies a new map of congressional districts after 2030's census maps. So these maps are temporary, again, for the elections of 2026, 2028, and 2030.
A New York appeals court on Thursday threw out a $500 million penalty against President Donald Trump, but it kept intact the finding that he committed fraud by exaggerating his wealth. The decision is a huge win for Trump, allowing him to rebound from one of his biggest legal defeats and eliminating an enormous financial burden. In a social media post, he called the decision a, quote, total victory.
Today we prove that no one is above the law.
Thursday's reversal is a defeat for New York Attorney General Letitia James, who said she will ask the Court of Appeals, the state's highest court, to review the case. In February 2024, a judge ordered the penalty after finding that Trump fraudulently overstated his wealth and the value of his properties to bolster his family business. Trump denied wrongdoing. The original judgment against Trump totaled more than $464 million, which now exceeds $500 million with interest. In Thursday's decision, two of the judges found that the fine was excessive. In May 2024, Trump was separately convicted on criminal charges in Manhattan stemming from hush money paid to porn star Stormy Daniels, but received no punishment. His re-election also effectively meant the end of 3 other criminal cases he faced, including 2 for alleged interference in the 2020 election.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Levin, and I proudly own and operate Puppy Lovin'. Puppy Lovin' is a pet care salon dedicated to caring for your furry companions. We provide certified dog grooming services along with boarding and doggy daycare. Our facility is family-owned and operated and promise personalized care for every pet that comes through our doors. If you're worried about your furry friend being lonely when you're gone, we also have on-site personnel 24/7 just for their comfort. Follow us on Facebook and call or text us at 814-758-9259 to make an appointment today.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
Sheer Design is Titusville's exclusive Paul Mitchell-focused salon. This full-service salon specializes in coloring, cuts, nails, and tanning. Owner Angela Saxon has over 20 years' experience as a Paul Mitchell professional. She and her licensed staff offer all cuts and styles for men and women of all ages. Call 814-827-0010 or stop in at 116 South Kerr Street in Titusville.
J. Gill Plumbing and Heating takes pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. With over 30 years of experience, our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. Our team is dedicated to making your home the ultimate place of comfort. Call today to get a free estimate. We also offer financing options and membership opportunities that provide peace of mind and cost savings. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online 24/7 at jgillplumbingheating.com.
If you're looking for a professional massage therapist, Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville is here for you. Ray and Rauch graduated from Slippery Rock University with a bachelor's degree in exercise and rehabilitative sciences with an emphasis in athletic training. Tranquil Moments offers a wide range of services from Swedish massage to deep tissue, sugar scrubs to hot towel inclusion therapy. Like them on Facebook and visit their website to learn more about all the services they offer. Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville.
Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733.
U.S. stocks fell on Thursday, with all three of Wall Street's main indexes losing about 0.33% or slightly more. Investors feared potentially hawkish remarks from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell when he speaks Friday from the central bank's annual symposium in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. With traders pricing in a roughly 80% chance of a September rate cut, any hints that's off the table could spark market volatility. A weakening labor market combined with an uptick in inflation has put the Fed in a tough spot, says Chris Carey, VP Portfolio Manager at Carnegie Investment Counsel.
The Fed has a bit of a unique game to be playing from the chairman's position, which is that for the first time in quite a while, the majority of his governors aren't all on the same page with regards to which direction to take rates. I think that we have a 25 basis point cut locked in. The general market consensus, we might see another 25 basis points between now and the end of the year. But really, it's a better idea of policy direction and how Fed Chair Powell is going to be able to corral the rest of his governors to be on board and set a clear path forward.
Stocks on the move Thursday included Walmart, which fell 4.5% after the retail giant raised its fiscal year sales and profit forecasts, but missed quarterly profit estimates and flagged higher costs from tariffs. Shares of Coty plummeted more than 21% after the beauty products maker forecast lower current quarter sales on weak U.S. spending. And shares of Cracker Barrel Old Country Store shed more than 7% after the restaurant chain unveiled its new logo, which no longer includes a man leaning on a barrel.
From a new lifeline for Intel to why one toy is worth billions. This is the week in numbers. $2 billion is the money put into Intel by Japanese tech investor SoftBank as part of moves to help revive the ailing chip maker. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says Washington might also take a 10% stake in the firm.
And it's a creative idea that has never been done before to ensure that we're both reshoring these critical supply chains while also gaining something of it for the American taxpayer.
Tech shares broadly fell later in the week on reports that Washington might want a stake in other chip makers too. Over $4 billion could be the value of ugly cute toys, or at least that's the possible annual sales at Labubu maker PopMart. The Chinese firm says it's on track to hit an existing lower target and could exceed the higher number quite easily amid a global craze for the furry collectibles. Over 6% was the plunge for shares in Target on Wednesday. Investors panned the retailer's choice of a veteran insider as its new chief executive. They say Michael Fidelki is not the man to solve the many issues that have caused Target stock to underperform for years. Over $10 billion is how much Meta will pay Google for cloud computing capacity over 6 years. That's according to a Reuters source. The news comes after boss Mark Zuckerberg said in July that the Facebook firm would spend hundreds of billions of dollars to build massive AI data centers of its own. And over 30% was the surge in sales for Xiaomi over the latest quarter. The Chinese company has risen to third place in the global smartphone market, behind only Apple and Samsung. It's also becoming a big player in electric vehicles, though that business remains loss-making so far.
Sorry about that. A little technical glitch here this morning. Here's your forecast for northwest Pennsylvania. Partly cloudy, a high of 80. Mainly clear skies tonight with lows in the upper 50s. I hope you had a chance to study that because we're going to give you a quiz before we wrap things up here this morning on this forecast. Saturday, partly cloudy, low 80s. Sunday, partly cloudy, mid 70s. Monday, partly cloudy with temperatures in the mid 60s. And Tuesday, partly cloudy with temperatures in the mid 60s. 7:16 is our time. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Glad you're with us here this morning. Wow, Friday already. How about that? And not only just normal Friday, it's the Friday before kids in our area go back to school, and it's also week one of high school football tonight. So we've been scrambling to get things together for that, and here we are. Awfully exciting. And the fair is wrapping up this weekend. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Crawford County Fair. We'll run through the schedule of events. You had, week 3 of the preseason football action. Kickoff last night with the Steelers picking up a win. Mason Rudolph didn't look great. We'll talk about that in a moment. But, you got birthdays, what we're celebrating, and we off and running. We'll go through the fair schedule, go through some baseball scores. Also, the rest of the preseason, week 3 preseason action for you for this weekend. So we'll get to that here in a moment. But, glad you're with us here this morning. Well, let's start with the fair. And Crawford County Fair, we got a couple more days of that. So still plenty of time to get out if you haven't made it up to the fair. Grab some good food. Check out all the great things going on. Things kick off this morning at 9 a.m. with game classes and mini in-hand jumping. Whitetail Edge Ben Rising in the Sportsmanship building, the Sportsman building. 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Fair Detective Contest going on. You've got live music from 12:30 to 1:30. It's Fine Rats on the West End stage performing. Kiddin' Around Showmanship, Sheep Arena at 1, rides on the Midway from 1 to 5, bingo from 1 to 9. That place was packed when we walked by. Has there ever been a time when the bingo tent at the American Legion building just...
No, it's always
all the time. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You've got demonstrations, growing and baking onions, taking place in exhibit building number 1 at 1:30. At 2 o'clock, State Police will have a demonstration, light horse and pony ring. 2:30 to 3:30, live music, Noah Grice on the West End stage. 3 p.m., rabbit demonstration in the Rabbit Barn. 3 p.m., FFA Star Farmer Award. 4 p.m., Zerbini Family Circus. It's 5th Avenue. 4:15 to 4:45, Saxo Friends, live music on the West End stage. 4:30, High Point Award presentation, Light Horse and Pony Ring. Reining demonstration, Light Horse and Pony Ring at 5. Also at 5, the 53rd annual 4-H and FFA livestock sale going on at the Livestock Complex. That is always a lot of fun. Your dad, who did auctioneering, doesn't do it anymore. He would help, like a whole group of local auctioneers would come together and help out during Fair Week. But they did pigs and cows or what? You remember what they auctioned off?
I don't. It was whatever. I don't remember. It was everything. It was a little bit of everything. So.
Yeah.
And we went. And you didn't understand it was per pound. And you felt bad that they were just auction. That poor kid's only going to get $4.82. And you started to raise your hand, and I'm like, per pound! It's per pound!
Yeah, and it was like a 900-pound pig.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. It's great.
Bacon sound good this morning.
We'd still be eating that pig's bacon.
I know. Let's see. Firehouse Plus 2 on the West End stage tonight from 5 to 5:30. Rides on the Midway 6 to 10. 6:30, Jackpot Barrels and Poles. 6:30 to 8, live music. 7th Day on the West End stage. Truck and Tractor Pull, Full Pull Productions doing that in the grandstands tonight. They were there last night, I believe, and just an awesome event. And Zerbini Family Circus, 7 o'clock, 5th Avenue. Today. So those are the things going on with the fair today. And then Saturday, you got a lot of the same, different entertainment, but you can continue to see some of the great demonstrations and exhibits. And tomorrow will be your last day to get in on that before people start packing up, tomorrow night, Sunday, and they move on to the next thing. So final couple days here of the Crawford County. That's always sad. No?
It is.
I mean, we don't
No, it
get to
is.
spend a lot of time there anymore, but
No, I know. I think like for the people who this is their time of year, with showing animals, or maybe they have their food stand or whatever they have up there. But this is like the heat of the year, and I'm sure it's sad. Like we're like, oh, that's kind of sad, but they're probably burnt out and ready to be recharged. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that it's mixed emotions.
Yeah. Well, before we get to birthdays and what we're celebrating, not just today, but through the weekend,
Yes,
let's
sir.
run through just a couple quick sports scores for you here this morning. Talk a little bit about the Steelers last night, their performance. It was not great, but it wasn't great. But they won. It's just, that's how I feel. See? The Pirates over the Blue Jays 2-1. Phillies over the Mariners 11-2. I don't know. It's like an old-timey baseball thing, right?
Sure. Okay. Who's on first?
Tigers. Did I say Tigers over the Astros? 7-2. Diamondbacks beat the Guardians in 10 innings 3-2. Marlins Cardinals with Miami coming out 6-2 on top of the St. Louis Cardinals. Nationals 5-4 win over the Mets. Atlanta over the White Sox 1-0. Yankees beat the Rays in 10 innings 6-4. A's over the Twins. Rangers beat the Royals. Cubs over the Brewers. Rockies beat the Dodgers. Angels over Reds. Padres beat the Giants. All right. That was, you know what? That was dumb. That was Wednesday night.
Oh. See, I don't even know the difference over here. I'm like,
That was Wednesday night.
La la la.
All right.
Are you okay? Are you having a Monday?
I'm having the first games tonight, and we're scrambling to get everything.
And we've had no sleep.
Yeah,
kind of
that's what it is.
Yeah. I can
A's
feel
beat
it.
the Twins 8-3. You know what? Let's just.
Hey, let's do birthdays and what we're celebrating.
Kansas City beat the Rangers. Brewers over Cubs. Dodgers. Blah 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 blah.
Oh my God.
Real quick today. I don't know. I'm not.
Are you ready?
No, hold on. Pittsburgh will host the Colorado Rockies tonight at 6:40. Watch Colorado win. And they're horrendous.
Aren't they at the bottom of the?
Yeah, 37 wins, 91 losses, where the Buccos have 54 wins and 74 losses. Nationals and Phillies tonight. Yankees and Red Sox, Orioles and Astros, Marlins, Blue Jays, Tigers, Royals, Braves, Mets. Rays will take on the Cardinals. White Sox hosting the Twins. Rangers to host the Cleveland Guardians at 8:05. Brewers have the Giants. Angels have the Cubs. Diamondbacks will take on the Cincinnati Reds. Padres hosting the Dodgers. Mariners will play the A's at 10:10 this evening. That is baseball. Real quick in football action, I mentioned the Steelers picked up a win last night. Might have a quarterback issue. Mason Rudolph did not look good. You know who's been looking really good?
Uh-oh.
Skylar Thompson.
Uh-oh.
Skylar Thompson has looked pretty impressive. So what do they do? Yeah. All right. And real quick with NFL. By the way, the Steelers beat the Panthers 19-10. Not that it matters in preseason. 7:30 tonight, the Eagles take on the Jets in New York. Titans will take on the Vikings. You've got the Cowboys and Falcons, Chiefs and Bears. On Saturday, the Commanders will take on the Ravens at noon. Saints and Broncos at 1. Lions, Texans. Browns will take on the Rams. Bengals, Colts. Packers, Seahawks. Dolphins, Jaguars. Buccaneers, Bills. 49ers, Chargers. Cardinals, Raiders. And that will be your final with preseason football. College football, next weekend? And then a couple weeks away from the NFL starting up. All right. Amy's been very excited. She's been patient.
Excited.
Let's get to birthdays. Who's celebrating on this 22nd day of August?
All right, singer Tori Amos is 62. Actor Ty Burrell is 58. Actress and comedian Kristen Wiig is 52. Singer Dua Lipa.
Thank
you. 30.
You're not the in crowd here with
I'm
today's current music.
So not the in crowd. We lost what we're celebrating.
Oh, you done with birthdays?
Yeah.
All right. Happy birthday to you if today is your birthday from all of us this morning. There's a rumor. Kristen Wiig is going to be appearing, kind of, in the upcoming He-Man movie. Live action movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but she's going to play a robot.
So
this just like it was announced this week or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had to I lost my link to what we're celebrating.
Right, so what are we celebrating?
All right. Be an Angel Day. Death of Prophet Muhammad. Folklore Day. International commemorating the victims of acts of violence based on religion or belief. That's a big one. National Bao Day, National Pecan Tort Day, National Surgical Oncologist Day, National Take Your Cat to the Vet Day, National Tooth Fairy Day, Never Been Better Day, Rainbow Baby Day, Russian Flag Day, World Plant Milk Day, and that is all for today. Tomorrow, we celebrate Cheap Flight Day, Day for Remembrance of the Slave Trade and Abolition, Day of the National Flag, European Day of Remembrance for victims of Stalinism. I can't say it.
Oh, you're making fun of me today.
Find Your Inner Nerd Day, Health Unit Coordinators Day, International Day for the Remembrance of the Slave Trade and Abolition, National Cuban Sandwich Day, National Ride the Wind Day, National Sponge Cake Day, Slavery Remembrance Day, oh my gosh, Valentino Day, National Coconut Week. And that is all. And then on Sunday, we celebrate Burning Man Festival, International Strange Music Day, Kobe Bryant Day, National Emery Day, National Knife Day, National Peach Pie Day, National Scam Awareness Day, National Waffle Day, Notting Hill Carnival, Pluto Demoted Day, St. Bartholomew History Day, World Water Week, and that's all.
Okay. So find something there to celebrate and enjoy the weekend.
I know, right?
Sleep. I think after tonight.
I think we're gonna. Well, no, it's like we have soccer and we move somebody into college. And
Oh, that's right. We got
it's like never ending.
Kids are heading back to school.
Yep.
Okay. Enjoy. Hey, this is it, right? For a lot of, again, there's a lot of posts on Facebook where it's that first day back to school picture.
Yeah.
And I know kids around here go back next week, but enjoy the next couple days at least with them, as I'm sure they're crying, thinking about going back. But
as you chuckle.
Yeah.
Chuckles.
I like this time of year.
I do too. It's fun.
Golf, the Tour Championship going on. Russell Henley leading the pack right now, 9 under. Right behind him, Scotty Scheffler. He just needs to hang in there till Sunday, and then he can do his thing. He should be player of the year. I mean,
there you go.
Crazy talent there. All right, news is next.
Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Alvarado Gil. Jones. No.
It's really tiresome to hear.
Thank you. Senator Jones, you are recognized.
Now, the other interesting thing about this effort is we all know this is going to fail on the ballot. This is a loser from the beginning. So what's the win? What's the upside for all of us here on the Senate floor to go blindly along with the governor's plan here? It's going to fail. And what's the only gain? I'll tell you what the only gain is. Governor Gavin Newsom is getting more headlines. He's getting more name ID, and he's creating a brand across the country so that he can run for president, and you're helping him.
AB 604 is an urgency measure, contains the new proposed congressional maps that will ultimately be the decision of California voters on November 4th. This bill will be in print for over 70 days. The maps will be available for insight from our voters, and ultimately they will have the say, and would remain in effect only until the Citizens Redistricting Commission certifies a new map of congressional districts after 2030's census maps. So these maps are temporary, again, for the elections of 2026, 2028, and 2030.
A New York appeals court on Thursday threw out a $500 million penalty against President Donald Trump, but it kept intact the finding that he committed fraud by exaggerating his wealth. The decision is a huge win for Trump, allowing him to rebound from one of his biggest legal defeats and eliminating an enormous financial burden. In a social media post, he called the decision a, quote, total victory.
Today we prove that no one is above the law.
Thursday's reversal is a defeat for New York Attorney General Letitia James, who said she will ask the Court of Appeals, the state's highest court, to review the case. In February 2024, a judge ordered the penalty after finding that Trump fraudulently overstated his wealth and the value of his properties to bolster his family business. Trump denied wrongdoing. The original judgment against Trump totaled more than $464 million, which now exceeds $500 million with interest. In Thursday's decision, 2 of the judges found that the fine was excessive. In May 2024, Trump was separately convicted on criminal charges in Manhattan stemming from hush money paid to porn star Stormy Daniels, but received no punishment. His re-election also effectively meant the end of 3 other criminal cases he faced, including 2 for alleged interference in the 2020 election.
Discover no-sweat savings of over $7,000 off your next Chevy truck. It's Community Chevrolet's Dog Days of Summer sales event. Our mascot Clark can hardly contain his excitement, and he's asleep, of course. This month, don't sleep on our hottest savings of the summer, including more than $7,000 off MSRP on a new Silverado, or save nearly $2,000 on hot new SUVs like the Trax and the Equinox. The Dog Days of Summer sales event. Where? At Community Chevrolet.
Interstate Pipe and Supply takes pride in providing superior customer service. That's why our dedicated employees are well trained and have the experience to offer friendly, quick, and reliable service and support. Need materials delivered to your job site? No problem. Interstate offers fast delivery from our 4 locations in Western Pennsylvania. We also serve Eastern Ohio, Northern Western Virginia, and Western New York. Service means business at Western Pennsylvania's premier pipe and supply company, Interstate Pipe and Supply.
Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning provides residential and light commercial air conditioning services throughout the area. They understand the importance of your cooling system working properly. That is why you can trust in Vanderhoof to do the job right. Whether it's a non-working air conditioner, yearly maintenance, or a new install, you can be assured that we will solve your problem quickly and efficiently. Your home's air conditioning system is far more than just temperature. It's a complete comfort system that combines temperature, humidity, air quality, and above all, safety. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Welcome to Inspire Med Spa, the place you know and love for massages, Botox, laser resurfacing, and semi-permanent makeup. Now we're offering even more, including laser hair removal, tattoo removal, and hair rejuvenation. Our team is here to provide expert care in a peaceful, luxurious environment designed with your relaxation in mind. And with our newly added services, now you can get all your beauty services in one place. Visit Inspire Med Spa today, because you deserve to look and feel your best.
I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us, but try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same. But you have excuses because you're old. So it's okay.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at soundedouttogether.org.
Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom. Ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
Whether you want to go and lead in your craft in the trades, whether you want to go and be that nurse or medical worker and have a real impact on lives, or whether you want to go and help that business improve its bottom line, this is the place. And now is your time to go with confidence, to go with skill, to go succeed. The Education and Training Center at Pitt Titusville.
Vehicle shopping? Make sure you check out Titusville Ford first. Shop our amazing selection of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. Visit us on Route 8 in Titusville and see why our customer service is a cut above the rest. Titusville Ford, your hometown dealer.
U.S. stocks fell on Thursday, with all three of Wall Street's main indexes losing about 0.33% or slightly more. Investors feared potentially hawkish remarks from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell when he speaks Friday from the central bank's annual symposium in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. With traders pricing in a roughly 80% chance of a September rate cut, any hints that's off the table could spark market volatility. A weakening labor market combined with an uptick in inflation has put the Fed in a tough spot, says Chris Carey, VP Portfolio Manager at Carnegie Investment Counsel.
The Fed has a bit of a unique game to be playing from the chairman's position, which is that for the first time in quite a while, the majority of his governors aren't all on the same page with regards to which direction to take rates. I think that we have a 25 basis point cut locked in. The general market consensus, we might see another 25 basis points between now and the end of the year. But really, it's a better idea of policy direction and how Fed Chair Powell is going to be able to corral the rest of his governors to be on board and set a a clear path forward.
Stocks on the move Thursday included Walmart, which fell 4.5% after the retail giant raised its fiscal year sales and profit forecasts, but missed quarterly profit estimates and flagged higher costs from tariffs. Shares of Coty plummeted more than 21% after the beauty products maker forecast lower current quarter sales on weak U.S. spending. And shares of Cracker Barrel Old Country Store shed more than 7% after the restaurant chain unveiled its new logo, which no longer includes a man leaning on a barrel.
Walmart raised its full-year sales and profit forecast on Thursday, citing strong demand from shoppers across all income levels who are turning to the retailer amid worries over rising costs. But shares fell as much as 5.5% in Thursday morning trading, as the world's largest retailer posted a second quarter profit below estimates, its first earnings miss in more than 3 years. One analyst tells Reuters that estimates were too ambitious and, quote, the miss is not indicative of a slowdown in business fundamentals. Walmart got a boost from a sharper online strategy as more customers relied on home deliveries. Its global e-commerce sales jumped 25% during the second quarter, and 1/3 of deliveries from stores took 3 hours or less. And even as weakening consumer sentiment due to tariffs has hit the bottom line of some retail chains, Walmart's sales have remained resilient. Walmart CEO Doug McMillon said the impact of tariffs has been gradual enough to moderate any change in customer habits. But he noted on a call with analysts that costs will continue rising in the second half of the year. McMillon added that middle and lower-income households are making noticeable adjustments in response to rising prices from tariffs, either by reducing the number of items in their baskets or by opting for more private label brands. The shift has not been seen among higher-income households, which Walmart defines as those earning over $100,000 annually.
With Walmart's earnings this morning, it was overall a pretty good picture, but there were some areas that do leave a bit of cause of concern. Overall, the positives are that Walmart still raised their guidance with regards to being more profitable for the rest of the fiscal year, and they raised their revenues. Their online services business still grew double digits. However, we do see two things that I would say, raise our eyebrows. The first is that tariff-related costs are being pushed onto the consumer. That was something that management raised, and that they are, it's kind of a blend of passing some on to the consumer and absorbing some themselves. So it was good to see that they, even despite absorbing some costs, that they were able to boost their forecast towards the end of the year. The second point, which I think is more of like a systemic thing that we're seeing, not just with regards to Walmart, is that the top 20% or so of consumers within the United States are the ones that are really driving a lot of the consumer spending. Lower income and middle income households are definitely starting to cut back. They're in some cases within Walmart trading down in terms of the item quality, from premium brand to name brand, or even reducing the amount, the quantity of goods that they are consuming. We've also seen, for instance, with quick service restaurants, that fast food foot traffic has been falling too, as Americans are kind of coming to the opinion that it's cheaper to eat in than to than to eat out, really. So it's definitely something that we'll want to keep an eye on as time goes on. With Fed Chair Powell's speech tomorrow at Jackson Hole, ideally what we're looking for is understanding his thoughts with regards to monetary policy going forward, above and beyond just the September 25 basis point cut, which is pretty much already baked in. The Fed has a bit of a unique game to be playing from the chairman's position, which is that for the first time in quite a while, the majority of his governors aren't all on the same page with regards to which direction to take rates. In terms of whether Powell actually hint and give the green light, if you will, within his speech that they are going to go forward and make a cut, I have a feeling that most likely he will. He might not say it verbatim. I think the majority of stocks, especially in like the home builder space and the small cap space, are relying on it. The housing market is in somewhat of a disarray, and so they need support from the Fed with regards to being able to secure a rate cut. And I think that the data does point to it, but I don't think we're going to see anything like a jumbo cut of 50 basis points, as some commentators or administration officials have wanted, or should I say, desired.
Eurozone businesses saw new orders rise in August for the first time since May last year. A closely watched survey released Thursday showed it helped overall activity expand at the fastest pace in 15 months. That was despite persistent weakness in exports. S&P Global's Purchasing Managers Index, or PMI, rose to 51.1 in August from 50.9 in July. It marked the third consecutive monthly improvement and beat analyst expectations. PMI readings above 50 indicate growth in activity, while those below point to a contraction. The manufacturing sector showed improvement, with its headline PMI rising to 50.5 from 49.8 in July. It was the first time it had moved into expansion in more than 3 years. Services activity also continued to expand, but at a reduced pace. Europe's largest economy, Germany, saw its fastest growth since March. It was driven by a solid manufacturing expansion. France's downturn eased to a marginal decline and was the smallest in a year. However, Eurozone inflation pressures intensified in August, with input costs rising at the sharpest rate in 5 months. The US and the European Union on Thursday locked in a framework trade deal reached last month. It includes a 15% US tariff on most EU imports. European Commissioner for Trade Maros Sefcovic.
This is the most favourable trade deal the US has extended to any partner. A wide range of sectors, including strategic industries such as cars, pharmaceuticals, semiconductors and lumber, will benefit from this cap.
The EU has pledged to eliminate tariffs on all US industrial goods and to provide preferential market access for a wide range of US seafood and agricultural goods. Meanwhile, Washington will take steps to reduce the current 27.5% tariffs on cars and car parts. The EU said it would aim to ensure lower tariffs applied to its car exports retroactively from August 1st. But they still couldn't get duties lowered for one major sector.
Yeah, the tariffs on the wine, spirits and beer was one of very important offensive interests of the European Union. Unfortunately, here we didn't succeed. I just would like to add one very important word, and this is yet. Because our US colleagues, they know that this is our offensive interest.
US President Donald Trump and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen announced the deal in July after months of negotiations. The two leaders met again this week as part of talks aimed at ending Russia's war in Ukraine. Both praised their trade framework deal as a historic accomplishment. The joint statement said the deal could be expanded over time to cover additional areas and further improve market access.
From China's crypto shift to Britain's sanctions on Russia-related networks, this is Crypto Weekly. Sources say China is considering the usage of yuan-backed stablecoins to boost wider adoption of its currency globally. It would be a major reversal of China's stance towards digital assets. The sources added that Chinese leaders will review and possibly approve a roadmap later this month. Stablecoins are a type of cryptocurrency designed to maintain a constant value. They are often pegged to the US dollar and commonly used by crypto traders to move funds between tokens. The yuan's share as a global payment currency fell to 2.88% in June. That's its lowest in 2 years. In contrast, the US dollar commanded over 47% of market share. A group of finance industry bodies is calling for a rethink on regulatory standards they say will make it difficult for banks to participate in crypto markets. The Basel Committee on Banking Supervision comprises regulators and central banks from the world's main financial centres. It agreed a set of standards 3 years ago regarding the risks around bank exposure to crypto assets. In an open letter to the committee, the group said the crypto market has changed since then
and the proposed standards are too conservative. Britain this week sanctioned financial networks it said were being used by Russia to evade existing Western sanctions. They include Kyrgyz crypto networks. The sanctions against 8 individuals and entities also target the infrastructure behind A7, A5. That's a ruble-pegged stablecoin launched in Kyrgyzstan, which Britain said had moved $9.3 billion in 4 months.
All right, let's take a quick look at that weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania on this Friday. Partly cloudy skies and a high of 80. Mainly clear skies tonight with lows in the upper 50s. Saturday, partly cloudy, low 80s. Sunday, partly cloudy, mid-70s. Monday, partly cloudy, mid-60s. Tuesday, partly cloudy, mid-60s. We do climb out of the 60s maybe by Thursday. Upper 60s on Wednesday, and then like low 70s Thursday. And it does warm up, and we do get into the 80s a little bit for the beginning part of September. So, but right now, Labor Day looking pretty decent on that Monday. So mostly cloudy, mid-70s. They're saying right now. That is a look at our weather forecast here on this 22nd day of August. 7:52 is our time. Again, thanks for being with us here on this Friday. We're gearing up for the return of high school sports. Got to catch a little bit of girls soccer. They had a scrimmage yesterday, and it's kind of fun to watch. I was talking to one of the assistant coaches, and you always get to the end of the year, and it's like, why can't the season start now? Everybody's, working together, firing on all cylinders. This stage is like, okay, it's going to be another week or two before you really start to get into it, even though they've been practicing for now, a week or two?
Yeah. I think it's different when you're like, they've been practicing very hard. All of the teams have. And, the heat at the beginning of their practices was ridiculous. But it's different from when you're, cutting your own team in half and scrimmaging each other, because until you get into the moment, you have to work together as a team. It's a completely different scenario. And it'll take a couple games to get it moving and clicking in the right direction and keep the momentum. So, I don't know, these are like where we work out the kinks, and
yeah,
it's fun.
You following this Cracker Barrel stuff?
Oh, so annoying. Whatever. Why would you change?
Everything?
The logo was so cool.
The logo, the decor, everything.
Like, that was your identity. Somebody needs fired.
I know. See, there's this talk about the Target CEO. It's really the Cracker Barrel CEO needs to probably be removed. The nationwide restaurant chain and country store, which is known for its comfort food and nostalgic atmosphere, unveiled a new simplified logo with the launch of a fall menu campaign on August 19th. In the news release, the campaign called All the More. Cracker Barrel boasted refreshed restaurant models and an enhanced brand look and feel. Apparently, stocks plummeted. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. If they're struggling, okay, they're probably trying to figure out what can you do to grab some attention. This certainly is doing it. I don't know if it had the intention that they were hoping for, or maybe it did. I don't know, but yeah, I just somebody had posted on Facebook. It was a cool picture of like growing up in the 1980s, 70s, and 80s versus today, and everything is so like simplified and dumbed down and
no fun.
Well, they were showing like what a fast food place looked like.
McDonald's.
Yeah, you've seen this?
I have.
Yeah, and it's like, wow.
There's so many great memories. And as a kid, it was like, it wasn't about the food. There was so, they had the playground, and it was fun there, and so you were begging your parents to take you there.
Yeah. Yeah, and then now it's, we can't have a playground because of insurance and kids getting hurt and blah, blah, blah. You hold their hand. Give them a trophy. You can be anything you want to be. Which is fine to a point.
Yeah.
And then reality should set in. Like, yes, I don't think you're going to be this.
Yeah, let's not waste any more money on voice lessons or it's just not happening for you. I'm so sorry. It's different. And
do you think parents know that? Because sometimes they act shocked when somebody actually tells them that, like a coach or whatever. Like I've been around conversation, and it wasn't like in a mean way. You know, it'd be like the coach saying, "Well, you know, at least your kid isn't going to grow up to be a baseball player."
Yeah.
Well, we thought he's going to be like, really?
Yeah.
Are you watching the same kid?
He can't figure out where first base is.
Right. Yeah. The same kid you're yelling, put the rocks down, stop playing in the grass.
Don't eat that.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think there's a lot of parents out there that overestimate, the ability. And it's not like I'm not trying to be mean. You're like, you can see it and you can tell and okay, move on to the next. There is something that they're good at. There is something you should be focusing on. It might not be that sport. It might be music. It might be art. It might be something completely different. But like they focus too much on and spend too much time on something that's just not going to happen. And then there's also the ones that are pushing their kids in the direction of a sport the kid doesn't want to be in because the parents want to relive their glory days. I don't know. It's kind of exhausting.
You tell me constantly that I'm not, I can't do this, I can't do that. What are you doing? Why are you doing that?
Why are we wasting our time here?
Put the rocks down.
Stop
Don't put that in your mouth.
dirt.
Yeah. Constantly hearing that from you.
Gosh.
Oh, it's just crazy.
Anyways, I don't know. I think it's insane. I don't know. Well, I don't know. When you're like a kid, your parents were like your harshest reality and your biggest critics, but also your biggest fan. So, like,
Were they?
Were they your biggest fan?
No. No.
They were. Mine were. But there were also, like,
No, but I appreciate that. You have to have somebody who's going to throw some reality your way.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it was a different time.
Right.
Well. And I am that parent. I can tell, I have no problem telling our kids, like, you sucked. Like, that was a horrible game. Where was your head? What were you thinking about? Like, I have no problem with that at all. Somebody has to say that,
Yeah, I'm so excited to get back into this world as fall sports are officially underway here tonight with the kickoff of week 1 of high school football. Looking forward to it.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. And our madness will really pick up. Our son plays soccer, so he's got a soccer match tomorrow and off and running. So.
And then, and next week, 2 next week.
Yeah. Looking forward to the weekend. If you get a chance, make it out to the Crawford County Fair. Have some fun, enjoy it before
eat some food.
Yeah, before you're saying, "Oh my gosh, that's it till next year." Yeah. So, all right. Hope it's a good weekend. Be back Monday. Looking forward to it. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Starting your Friday with Luke and Amy on the Morning Drill. Hey, Journey. Hey, it's fan made me. Hey, it understands you.
Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Alvarado Gill. Jones? No.
It's really tiresome to hear.
Thank you. Senator Jones, you are recognized.
Now, the other interesting thing about this effort is we all know this is going to fail on the ballot. This is a loser from the beginning. So what's the win? What's the upside for all of us here on the Senate floor to go blindly along with the governor's plan here? It's going to fail. And what's the only gain? I'll tell you what the only gain is. Governor Gavin Newsom is getting more headlines. He's getting more name ID, and he's creating a brand across the country so that he can run for president, and you're helping him.
AB 604 is an urgency measure, contains the new proposed congressional maps that will ultimately be the decision of California voters on November 4th. This bill will be in print for over 70 days. The maps will be available for insight from our voters, and ultimately they will have the say, and would remain in effect only until the Citizens Redistricting Commission certifies a new map of congressional districts after 2030's census maps. So these maps are temporary, again, for the elections of 2026, 2028, and 2030.
For over 11 years, Triple M Roofing has been providing Amish quality craftsmanship and work ethic that you can rely on. Pole barns, decks, porches, siding, and almost all roofing needs, Triple M Roofing will get the job done on time without sacrificing quality or the promise to deliver within your budget. Call today for a free estimate, 814-964-0472. Waiting is what you'll do with the other guys. Getting it done is what we do. Amish owned and operated, we're Triple M Roofing.
Who can solve this equation? Ooh! Me. Anyone else? Fine. Jake from State Farm. Again.
It's the personal price plan theorem. If you bundle your home and auto, that can equal an affordable price just for you.
Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Are you tired of juggling multiple pill bottles? Titusville Express Pharmacy has your solution, now offering compliance packaging. Your medication sorted and sealed by dose, making it easier than ever to stay on track. In a hurry? Take advantage of our convenient drive-through service. We also offer free local delivery for those that qualify. Titusville Express Pharmacy, where convenience meets care. Visit us today at 401 West Spring Street in Titusville. Simplify your medication routine with Titusville Express Pharmacy.
Poppy's Equipment and Storage Rental in Pleasantville is committed to providing our customers with exceptional service while offering quality rental equipment. Poppy's is now an authorized steel dealer with everything you need to have for sawing and cutting or mowing to digging. And of course, Poppy's has tents, tables, chairs, heaters, generators, barbecues, and more for your next wedding or get-together. Need firewood or propane? No problem. Whether you're in construction or a weekend warrior, reach out to Poppy's about your next project. Poppy's Place on the Tenesta Road in Pleasantville. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, serving Crawford, Venango, Forest, and Warren counties. Their mission is to provide quality, low-cost, and personal financial products for the growth and security of their members and families. Stop in, call, or visit our website, communityconnectfcu.com, and click Join to get started. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, 1050 East Spring Street in Titusville.
Fat Chad's Brewing is Titusville's premier dining destination, offering fine dining served with a cold beverage and great conversations. Try our new menu items, the T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Our pasta entries and sandwiches are just as popular. Try the new lobster ravioli, shrimp and scallop pasta, or our popular Asiago chicken. Don't forget about our famous burgers or fish sandwich, all served with fresh cut fries. Come in Saturday nights for Wild Game Saturdays. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
Titusville Market Square is home to over 100 unique vendors featuring antiques, collectibles, candles, coins, baked goods, dairy products, food items, comic books, toys, and so much more. You'll discover something new every time you walk through the door. Did we mention the selection of baked goods, breads, Clark's Donuts, and Amish pies? Titusville Market Square has you covered. Stop in to explore today. Titusville Market Square in downtown Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
U.S. stocks fell on Thursday, with all three of Wall Street's main indexes losing about 0.33% or slightly more. Investors feared potentially hawkish remarks from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell when he speaks Friday from the central bank's annual symposium in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. With traders pricing in a roughly 80% chance of a September rate cut, any hints that's off the table could spark market volatility. A weakening labor market combined with an uptick in inflation has put the Fed in a tough spot, says Chris Carey, VP Portfolio Manager at Carnegie Investment Counsel.
The Fed has a bit of a unique game to be playing from the chairman's position, which is that for the first time in quite a while, the majority of his governors aren't all on the same page with regards to which direction to take rates. I think that we have a 25 basis point cut locked in. The general market consensus, we might see another 25 basis points between now and the end of the year. But really, it's a better idea of policy direction and how Fed Chair Powell is going to be able to corral the rest of his governors to be on board and set a clear path forward.
Stocks on the move Thursday included Walmart, which fell 4.5% after the retail giant raised its fiscal year sales and profit forecasts, but missed quarterly profit estimates and flagged higher costs from tariffs. Shares of Coty plummeted more than 21% after the beauty products maker forecast lower current quarter sales on weak U.S. spending. And shares of Cracker Barrel Old Country Store shed more than 7% after the restaurant chain unveiled its new logo, which no longer includes a man leaning on a barrel.
From a new lifeline for Intel to why one toy is worth billions. This is the week in numbers. $2 billion is the money put into Intel by Japanese tech investor SoftBank as part of moves to help revive the ailing chip maker. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says Washington might also take a 10% stake in the firm.
And it's a creative idea that has never been done before to ensure that we're both reshoring these critical supply chains while also gaining something of it for the American taxpayer.
Tech shares broadly fell later in the week on reports that Washington might want a stake in other chip makers too. Over $4 billion could be the value of ugly cute toys, or at least that's the possible annual sales at Labubu maker Pop Mart. The Chinese firm says it's on track to hit an existing lower target and could exceed the higher number quite easily amid a global craze for the furry collectibles. Over 6% was the plunge for shares in Target on Wednesday. Investors panned the retailer's choice of a veteran insider as its new chief executive. They say Michael Fidelki is not the man to solve the many issues that have caused Target stock to underperform for years. Over $10 billion is how much Meta will pay Google for cloud computing capacity over 6 years. That's according to a Reuters source. The news comes after boss Mark Zuckerberg said in July that the Facebook firm would spend hundreds of billions of dollars to build massive AI data centers of its own. And over 30% was the surge in sales for Xiaomi over the latest quarter. The Chinese company has risen to third place in the global smartphone market, behind only Apple and Samsung. It's also becoming a big player in electric vehicles, though that business remains loss-making so far.
Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to talk about ear, nose, and throat. And with us is Dr. Peter White and Dr. Michelle White. Thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be here.
Before we get started, let's learn a little bit about you. Peter, we'll start with you. Tell us about yourself.
I came to Meadville 33 years ago and have been in practice in ENT for that length of time. And it is so difficult to get ENT doctors to come to Meadville, I had to create my own.
Tell us about that experience.
Well, that started 33 years ago.
I'm 34 now.
She's 34 now. So
perfect.
So it was a very long-term recruiting plan.
And Michelle, we'll have to get your take on this here in a moment. But when you were young, is this a direction you wanted to go? You wanted to get into healthcare, or at what point did you say, this is the profession I want to go?
Oh, yes. So I was relatively fortunate in that it's something I knew from a very young age, that I wanted to be a doctor. I tell people that I saw the respect my mother had for my pediatrician, and I thought, you know, she thinks he's something special, and maybe that's what I'd like to do when I grow up, and it worked out very well for me.
Michelle, tell us about your journey.
Yeah, so I think I also probably knew pretty early on that I wanted to work in healthcare. We obviously have a very sort of strong community healthcare program here, and I grew up in town here, and so in terms of careers, I was exposed to a lot of different healthcare careers. When I started to talk about becoming a doctor, he, wanted to be sure, are you sure that you really want to do this? It's a long road, and I really started to feel like, no, there's nothing else I'd rather do. And so went to college and then medical school, and in medical school I didn't go in saying, oh, I'm going to be an ENT doctor. I was sort of curious about all options, but I realized it was what I was comparing every other option to, and that I liked it because you got to treat patients of all ages, you could perform surgeries and also do a lot in the office, and I liked the anatomy of the head and neck a lot. And so I think what's underlying this here is that I'm his daughter and we're very similar people, and so I think we're kind of drawn to it for similar reasons. And then I went to ENT residency, and considering job options afterwards and having the opportunity to work with my dad and be close to family seemed ideal.
That's great. Peter, for you, talk about just ENT, because people hear ear, nose, throat. It encompasses quite a bit. Talk about that range of that type of patient that you see.
Yeah, great question. Because one of my concerns in medical school was that I didn't want to do the same thing over and over again. And as you've just said, there really is a fairly wide range of opportunity in ENT, and I was attracted to that because, as you point out, it's ear, nose, and throat, so we deal with complicated ear problems, we deal with complicated sinus problems, we get into allergies through our work with sinuses, and then you've got throat and neck problems. As Michelle's already alluded to, the anatomy in the neck is very interesting and intricate, and that's a big attraction. The other thing is we treat a broad range of ages as a surgical specialty. We have a lot of children, and for me that was another big attraction. I love dealing with little kids in the office, and the immediate gratification and satisfaction of the surgical procedures involved. They can't hear well, and then they can, and their throat hurts, and then you make it throat hurt for a little bit, but then it's better. And so it's a great specialty.
Michelle, for you, is that sort of the same approach? Every day is a little different.
Yeah, you do find that, but then you see a lot of commonalities, and a lot of the same problems show up on the list of patient encounters from day to day. But you find that you're still approaching each patient, obviously, in a different way, and that one patient's ear infection isn't the same as the next patient's ear infection you'll see in the next hour or next day or something like that. And so you're constantly, with I think all fields of medicine, thinking, what's the best treatment plan for this patient in particular, and what works for some, what doesn't work for others, and stuff like that.
And that's why it's so important for somebody to schedule an appointment to come into your office, because people will look online to try to get ideas, but every patient is unique. So that whole path they're on for treatment is going to be unique to them. there's no like rubber stamp that you're putting on, you know, everybody. Does that make that, again, part of that enjoyment of what you do, that the challenge of, you know, solving the puzzle?
Yeah, I think the word is challenge. We're dealing with human beings, and we're all a little different and complicated in our own way, and talking to people and figuring out their exact problem and sorting it out for them. It's difficult to cookie cutter that, and people deserve better than to be cookie cuttered into standard forms of treatment. So yeah, that adds to the challenge and the satisfaction.
Michelle, talk about just, again, some of those patients that you see every day. What are some common traits that you come across?
Well, we see, you know, in different age groups, we see children who have frequent ear infections or issues with their hearing and fluid behind their ears. And, you know, we approach that patient with, does this patient meet criteria to get ear tubes in at this time? Are we going to keep monitoring their ears? Are we concerned that something more rare is happening, like there's actually a nerve-related hearing loss that isn't related to fluid or ear infections? Also see children with, you know, problems with their tonsils and breathing and snoring and frequent strep throat infections. And then something you could see in any age group is, you know, a swollen lymph node in the neck, and how you handle that in a child is different how you handle that in an adult, middle-aged, or elderly person. And then we have special equipment to examine the ears, nose, and throat that isn't available to a primary care provider, like flexible scopes to look in the nose and the throat, microscopes to look in the ears. We can clean ears in a way that can't be done other places just because of the equipment and scopes we have. So a lot of the time you find patients are here just because they need a really good ear exam, or they need someone to look at their throat and their vocal cords, which is not something that can be done in a primary care office. So we just have an ability to look at these anatomic areas with a lot more sort of precision than others can.
When somebody is thinking I should make that phone call, should they call your office first? Do they call their primary care physician? How do they get into your services?
I would say either or. It depends on the nature of things, but we have a very strong primary care base here in the Meadville area, and it's my experience that they're very good about referring on when specialty care is indicated, but patients are also very welcome to call our office and make an appointment on their own. They don't necessarily need to see their family doctors.
Sometimes a patient will wait maybe too long before they start that process. What are some things, and we can start maybe with kids and then work our way up into older patients, but what are some things that may pop up in their lives where, you know, if you're experiencing this, go and see the doctor?
For adults in particular, I think a big concern for, you know, waiting too long to seek intervention would be something like a head and neck cancer. And so if they have a swollen lymph node that persists more than, I'd say, like 2 to 4 weeks, or keeps getting bigger and doesn't go down, throat symptoms like throat pain, ear pain on one side, difficulty swallowing, change to their voice. If any of that lasts longer than a few weeks, that's certainly a very good reason to see an ENT doctor. Hearing loss in one ear that sort of happens suddenly, or even progressive decline in hearing in both ears, is a good reason to get a hearing test and see an ENT doctor. And then in children, you know, frequent ear infections, like once there are more than 3 infections, 3 or 4 that require antibiotics, as well as a concern that there's some hearing loss or speech delay, all of those are good reasons to come in.
Q-tips. A lot of people talking about Q-tips. Use or stay away from?
Well, I tell patients from a business point of view, they're excellent because they bring a lot of business into our office. But if you look not so carefully at an ad for a Q-tip, you'll usually see some attractive model with a Q-tip, and it'll go all the way around the outside of the ear, but you'll never see the Q-tip go into the ear because it's not supposed to. And it does generate a lot of work for us. People end up damaging their ears sometimes and pushing things like wax in there that ordinarily would come out naturally. So I would say overall, leave them out of your ear.
Allergies, another big topic here in Northwest Pennsylvania. Let's get into that, because a lot of people will say, I've got seasonal allergies, or the allergy season's rough, and it seems like it's not just fall or spring or summer, it's year round. Talk about just what you see in the office when it comes to allergies.
Yeah, well, certainly this is a prime time seasonally for allergies with spring. And even in the winter, patients come in because they may have dust allergies or animal dander allergies that are sort of year-round. But we always talk about, what they've tried in terms of over-the-counter medications and if anything has worked well for them. And then we talk about an ideal regimen of over-the-counter medications, because we can send in, the generic version to the pharmacy, but really there's nothing they get from the pharmacy that's different than what they can get over the counter. So what's considered sort of first-line allergy management is an oral antihistamine like Claritin, Zyrtec, Allegra, or the generic equivalents, with a nasal steroid spray like Flonase, and saline's helpful in the nose during allergy season to sort of wipe out any allergen particles that are sitting on the lining of the nose. But that's sort of the most optimal treatment regimen, is an oral antihistamine with a steroid spray. And if they're finding that that isn't controlling things well, that's when we talk about, should we do allergy testing? Should we consider whether you should start allergy shots or drops, which is considered immunotherapy treatment. But patients want to be sure that, they've tried the over-the-counter medications, because that is a commitment in terms of the treatment, the length of treatment, and sort of how frequently they need to come in for shots and stuff like that.
So,
well, I was going to say there are lots of things that bothers people's sinuses, and allergies. The fact that we treat allergies is a natural extension of various kinds of other kinds of sinus treatments as well. For instance, we get into people who need sinus surgery, and again, allergies can become part of a broad range of treatments that we can offer people for their sinuses.
What's changed over the past 30 years in your profession?
Well, I think that our ability to use technology in the office has changed and improved over that time period. Certainly we have some improved allergy medicines, we have some improved antibiotic therapies, and by the other token, a lot of things have stayed the same. One of the beauties of this relationship is that I have more than 30 years of experience to impart on a younger person, and the younger person comes with new and updated training that helps to keep the old guy up to date. For instance, we are starting an Inspire program here because Michelle did that during her training, and that we hope will offer a new treatment for sleep apnea in the area.
And I understand there's already been phone calls, so what is Inspire?
Yes, Inspire is an alternative to CPAP for patients with moderate or severe sleep apnea. CPAP is still considered first-line gold standard therapy for sleep apnea for good reason, because it's very effective when it works well and it's non-invasive. But there are a subset of patients who don't tolerate CPAP for various reasons, or CPAP doesn't work well for them, and so this is a good therapy option for them. It is an implanted nerve stimulator device that works by moving the tongue and upper airway muscles forward to open up the upper airway during sleep. So there's a component that is moving the tongue forward while you sleep. There's also a component in the chest with sort of a pacemaker-like device that is sensing your breathing. And so with your respiratory cycle, it detects when you breathe in and moves your tongue forward to open up your upper airway, and then as you breathe out, it relaxes. And so as you sleep throughout the night, you're getting sort of cyclical movement of your tongue and upper airway to open up your upper airway when you're sleeping.
How is somebody diagnosed? Do they recognize sleep issues themselves, or are they coming into your office and saying, yeah, this is going on, and you're saying to them, I think it's sleep apnea?
Yeah, many patients by the time they get to us have had a sleep study in the past and have been diagnosed with sleep apnea, but it's funny you ask, how they recognize this, because a lot of the time it's the bed partners who are noticing that, my bed partner snores loudly. I've heard him or her pause breathing during sleep and then kind of wake up. And so honestly, a lot of the time, maybe aside from poor sleep quality, which the patient would recognize themselves, it's more so family members, bed partners who are noticing the symptoms of it.
And what's the feedback you've been getting? Because I'm sure once somebody's getting a good night's sleep, it's a major difference in their life.
Yeah, we really haven't quite gotten to the point where the patients we've implanted are sort of giving us that feedback yet, just because it is a long process and we're just getting started. But from my experience in residency, many of them are very grateful because there are certainly a lot of health consequences of untreated sleep apnea. And aside from that, they are feeling like they're getting more refreshed quality of sleep. And sometimes it can be drastic, patients who are worried they're going to fall asleep at the road because they're so chronically tired and stuff like that. So it can be a major improvement in their quality of life.
If somebody understands that they have some sleep issues, they know they have sleep apnea, they can contact your office?
Yes, they can contact our office, and they can also talk to the provider who's been managing their sleep apnea. A good place to start if you don't know if you have sleep apnea is to talk to your primary care provider. They'd probably ask you some questions and consider whether you should have a sleep study.
Summer's coming up. A lot of families are planning vacations or getting out, even just mowing grass. If they're having allergy problems, that's another opportunity to contact their primary care physician or your office?
Absolutely. Yes, most allergy treatments are available over the counter, and so the simple way for them to start is to go to the pharmacy and get an antihistamine. And if their symptoms are easily well controlled with an over-the-counter medication, they probably don't need their family doctor or us. But we tend to see patients who have already gone to the pharmacy, and there's a broad range of different allergy therapies to try, and they just aren't working well enough, and then we're very happy to see those people and see what else we can do for them to give them a better quality of life.
Family is very important to you. What do you do at the end of the day to relax and wind? Peter, we'll start with you.
Well, the best thing we do is spend time together. And so, sorry, I couldn't talk about this without getting emotional. Yeah, the best thing we do is spend time together, and Michelle has 2 young children, and they are the joy of our life. But aside from that, we travel. I'm a bike rider, and we enjoy a pretty busy life.
Yeah, I will say those 2 young children take up all of my free time at the end of the day. And so after they go to bed, I like to, read or watch TV shows, but also I usually go to bed pretty early and get the day started early as well.
I'll ask, what's it like to work with Dad?
Oh, it's the best. It's great. Yeah, we are very much in sync and just obviously know each other so well that we work well together. And I notice, he's part-time now, so he's not always here, but when he is here, I take every opportunity to say, what would you do in this situation? And just get reassurance that, he would be doing the same thing that I'm doing, because why not use that resource when you have it?
Office locations here in Meadville and in Grove City?
We have an office here in Meadville that I've had for a long time. Recently, our office in Grove City was changed to Mercer, and so we are in Mercer 2 days a week.
And again, you can find out more by going to the website. Dr. Peter White, Dr. Michelle White, thank you so much for your time. It was a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for being with us as well.
A New York appeals court on Thursday threw out a $500 million penalty against President Donald Trump, but it kept intact the finding that he committed fraud by exaggerating his wealth. The decision is a huge win for Trump, allowing him to rebound from one of his biggest legal defeats and eliminating an enormous financial burden. In a social media post, he called the decision a, quote, total victory.
Today we prove that no one is above the law.
Thursday's reversal is a defeat for New York Attorney General Letitia James, who said she will ask the Court of Appeals, the state's highest court, to review the case. In February 2024, a judge ordered the penalty after finding that Trump fraudulently overstated his wealth and the value of his properties to bolster his family business. Trump denied wrongdoing. The original judgment against Trump totaled more than $464 million, which now exceeds $500 million with interest. In Thursday's decision, 2 of the judges found that the fine was excessive. In May 2024, Trump was separately convicted on criminal charges in Manhattan stemming from hush money paid to porn star Stormy Daniels, but received no punishment. His re-election also effectively meant the end of 3 other criminal cases he faced, including 2 for alleged interference in the 2020 election.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Levin, and I proudly own and operate Puppy Lovin'. Puppy Lovin' is a pet care salon dedicated to caring for your furry companions. We provide certified dog grooming services along with boarding and doggy daycare. Our facility is family-owned and operated and promise personalized care for every pet that comes through our doors. If you're worried about your furry friend being lonely when you're gone, we also have on-site personnel 24/7 just for their comfort. Follow us on Facebook and call or text us at 814-758-9259 to make an appointment today.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
Sheer Design is Titusville's exclusive Paul Mitchell focused salon. This full-service salon specializes in coloring, cuts, nails, and tanning. Owner Angela Saxon has over 20 years experience as a Paul Mitchell professional. She and her licensed staff offer all cuts and styles for men and women of all ages. Call 814-827-0010 or stop in at 116 South Kerr Street in Titusville.
J. Gill Plumbing and Heating takes pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. With over 30 years of experience, our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. Our team is dedicated to making your home the ultimate place of comfort. Call today to get a free estimate. We also offer financing options and membership opportunities that provide peace of mind and cost savings. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online 24/7 at jgillplumbingheating.com.
If you're looking for a professional massage therapist, Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville is here for you. Ray and Rauch graduated from Slippery Rock University with a bachelor's degree in exercise and rehabilitative sciences with an emphasis in athletic training. Tranquil Moments offers a wide range of services, from Swedish massage to deep tissue, sugar scrubs to hot towel inclusion therapy. Like them on Facebook and visit their website to learn more about all the services they offer. Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville.
Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733.
U.S. stocks fell on Thursday, with all three of Wall Street's main indexes losing about 0.33% or slightly more. Investors feared potentially hawkish remarks from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell when he speaks Friday from the central bank's annual symposium in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. With traders pricing in a roughly 80% chance of a September rate cut, any hints that's off the table could spark market volatility. A weakening labor market combined with an uptick in inflation has put the Fed in a tough spot, says Chris Carey, VP Portfolio Manager at Carnegie Investment Counsel.
The Fed has a bit of a unique game to be playing from the chairman's position, which is that for the first time in quite a while, the majority of his governors aren't all on the same page with regards to which direction to take rates. I think that we have a 25 basis point cut locked in. The general market consensus, we might see another 25 basis points between now and the end of the year. But really, it's a better idea of policy direction and how Fed Chair Powell is going to be able to corral the rest of his governors to be on board and set a clear path forward.
Stocks on the move Thursday included Walmart, which fell 4.5% after the retail giant raised its fiscal year sales and profit forecasts, but missed quarterly profit estimates and flagged higher costs from tariffs. Shares of Coty plummeted more than 21% after the beauty products maker forecast lower current quarter sales on weak U.S. spending. And shares of Cracker Barrel Old Country Store shed more than 7% after the restaurant chain unveiled its new logo, which no longer includes a man leaning on a barrel.
Joining us this morning is Mr. Sports, Bruce Peterson. Hi, Bruce. How are you?
Morning, Luke.
Good to see you this morning.
Good.
You know what would have been very helpful had I adjusted the camera so that you were in frame. You talk and I'll adjust. How are you?
Good. I can move over.
No.
All right. Hey, this is a Lucy Run show, so it's just part of the ambience, There we go. Hey, there I am. In frame. It's okay. I see we're starting early today, so we got extra time. We're going to start off. Well, the Steelers won last night.
Yeah.
Another practice game. But
yeah.
There's some, I think there's some bright spots.
Last night was not their best. They had so many penalties.
The first half was awful. They just played terrible. Played better in the second half.
Mason Rudolph did not look good yesterday, and he's looked okay in the first two.
Right. So.
Skylar Thompson.
Hey.
Wow.
You got to say, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about, is it going to be him or Howard? I think it's going to be him. I mean, Howard hasn't played, and Skylar has played pretty well. And as Tomlin said last night, he's got NFL experience. I mean, he's not a Johnny-come-lately.
Yeah.
So.
But there's also what they see in practice, right? So,
True.
What kind of effect will that have? Is Mason's not a guaranteed
I think
QB number 2, isn't he?
I think so.
After last night?
Well,
But so how much do you think the practices kind of factor in what they see day to day versus?
Well, if you notice, I think Mason only played one series last night. He hasn't.
He had a
couple.
Yeah,
okay.
Because he had an interception. Yeah, he was out there a few times.
Yeah. It's a combination of both. Practice does matter, but you like to see him perform in a real game, which Skylar Thompson has done well. But I think they know what they got in all those players. So it's a combination of the two.
NFL's not really good at saying, hey, you know what, let's set this guy aside for an investment and see how he does next year or a couple years. It's, okay, what do we need now? And we have to slim down this roster.
Well, I think they have to decide. I mean, they did put a draft pick into Howard, and they do like him. I think they have to decide what they want to do. And you can stash him on the injured reserve for a hangnail. So I think that could be where he's going to wind up. And, you get to spend the year with a team, and that might be best for him.
How horrible would that be? The excitement of being drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers or any NFL team.
Right.
And then this.
But Luke, he's not going to play during the regular season. He's not. So, I mean, is it better if he does it on the team or if he does it on the practice squad or if he does it on the IR? I don't know.
As the Steelers get into things and they start making their cuts and they're figuring, okay, hey, we have a guy here that might have some trade value. Do we keep? Do we get rid of? When you're looking at Rudolph and Thompson and Howard.
Oh, I don't think they really have much to trade. I mean, and for a second or third stringer, what are you going to get? 7th round draft pick, maybe? You're not going to get anything for him. And you kind of need to have, really, I think they want to have 3 quarterbacks on the team and 1 on the practice squad in case something happens. Because remember, Rodgers is an older player. Rodgers could get an injury. Not saying he will, and I certainly hope he doesn't, but, he could.
Certainly, you're looking at 2 and 3 and making sure you've got some strength there.
Right. So, yeah, it's good to have Thompson and Howard and Mason Rudolph, And there's even links to them maybe picking up another quarterback, although I think that's doubtful, but we'll see.
Okay.
Now, Harmon, their first-round draft pick, has got a strained knee. And what did Tomlin say about that? Well, he says it's a how did he say that? He used the word, I think it was significant, but is he going to be out for the season? No. But he didn't tear anything. He didn't stretch anything. He sprained it. All right? There's 17 days between now and the beginning of the season. He's a young player. He's going to heal fast. Will he probably play in the first game? Probably not, but he's going to play soon. Now, they were counting on him to be a starter. So, but the guy that could take his place is Yahweh Black. The kid he was the Steeler player of the week. The guy has really come into his own pretty quickly. So
it was fascinating to watch some of those guys. And maybe that's where the penalties came from, playing a little extra hard because they knew this was their last chance to show and prove themselves. And by the way, I'm going on this Sunday 3 weeks of this sprained ankle, and it's not the easiest thing.
No, it's not. No. And like Tomlin said, it's better to say whoa than giddy up, So it's better for them to be overactive than to give them a little boost in the butt to get them going. So. But Black is definitely good. Another one was that Scotty Miller. I think he caught every pass thrown at him in the preseason. So there's been a lot of talk about who's going to be their number 2, number 3 receiver. Well, I don't know. Maybe Scotty Miller.
He had a play last night. Very smart. It was towards the end of the first half. Time was ticking down. He caught the ball and knew when he caught it coming down, landed, but nobody touched him. So he started to run out of bounds stop the clock, but I think they rolled. I had it on
rolled
mute
it
a little
down.
bit. They rolled it down, I think.
Right. So he couldn't get out of bounds.
Well, the clock had stopped anyways.
Right.
So, but yeah, just real heads up thinking, and he knew what was going on the clock, in addition to making a heck of a catch.
Well, that's what you got to do if you want to make a team. Now, I think he's going to make the team one way or the other, but you know, they're keep talking about this number 2 receiver, and so I don't know. Maybe he becomes. I don't know. We'll see. But he certainly has made a case for himself in the preseason that he deserves some being looked at. So and that's what the preseason is for. It's for looking at players like this and saying, okay, what can you do in the regular season?
Yeah. Well, in addition to testing, you know, when you see a team in the preseason go for it on, 4th and 4,
right?
You know, they're working stuff out,
right? Exactly,
and that's okay. So as a fan, don't get excited.
That's right. It's a practice game. It's practice,
You're
fans.
practicing situations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, winning's nice, but it's not starting on the 9th, then it matters, or the 7th, I think. Yeah, 7th, so it matters. So, cut down date is next Tuesday, the 26th.
Ooh.
Yeah. And as Dale Lally and Matt Williamson said, you know, they're going to cut down to 53 players, but that's not going to be the final roster because people are going to be shunted off the injury reserve, and people are going to be brought in, and other teams are going to cut players that they maybe will like and bring them in. So that's not the total. That's not the final roster when they do that cut down. That's close, but there will still be some adjustments all the way up to the first game on the 7th. So just so you know.
We'll get a good idea Tuesday, and then somebody had said that's like it's like your heart just pours out on that day for all these guys that are trying to make their dreams come true. Now, as you said, other people might be sweeping in and picking them up.
But that is a tough day. I know I've read experiences of NFL players, and what do they call it? The Turk? The Turk comes a-calling. And if he knocks on your door and asks for your playbook, well, you pack your bags. But like I said, there's a 16-man practice squad, and there are other teams. So that Souls, that place kicker that kicked 4 field goals, well, he's not going to play for Pittsburgh, but he's going to play for somebody. Somebody's going to pick him up. You know, he's looked really good, and Tomlin pointed him out in a post-game press conference. So Tomlin likes him, and I think Tomlin did that for that reason. Hey teams, here's a really good kicker. If you're having problems with the kicker, look at this guy. He can kick the ball.
Does that play a role, you think, sometimes in these, like Boswell and Hayward, maybe stepping out saying, hey, you know what, I want a little bit more money. Then, you get a kid like this that shows up, and it's like, all right, you can ask for it, but
that's right.
We got this guy.
Exactly. And also, what's going on with Hayward? Nothing. Nothing's going on. And he went back, he put the pads on this week, what's that tell you? They haven't said a word to him. They're not going to renegotiate. So if you want to play football, fine. If you don't, you're going to fine you, and it's going to be not good, and you're going to destroy your legacy. So you're probably best to play football.
Do you think he kind of, you talked about it last week, but then, so now we've got 2 weeks of, bad press for him, where he's getting bad press, and it's like
fans ain't happy.
Right.
Yeah, that affects the players. Yeah, I mean, because he's a popular player. He has always had the praise of the fans. Now he's getting their ire. It's not fun. It's not fun to get criticized by the fans, because that's who you're there to entertain. So I think it's caused him to rethink his position, and all of a sudden he's practicing, and there's nothing being said about more money. And I don't think there's going to be more money. I just don't.
Is this done, or is he going to bring this up later?
No, I don't think he will.
Okay, this is...
No, he's smart enough for that. He made his play. It either works or it doesn't. Yeah. It didn't work. They called his bluff. And the kicker, forget it. And they got this guy named Sauls who's pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, I was shocked that he did it, but he gave it a shot. But they're not going to do anything. nor do they have to. And I've been listening to some of the pundits on the NFL Network, and they pretty much agree with the fans, Not that they don't like him and not that they don't think he's a good player, but, he signed a contract last year. He took $10 million of advance money,
Yeah. It wasn't like he did this 2-3 years ago.
No.
This is
last
recent.
year.
Yeah.
Last year. So, and he's doing all right.
I don't know. When you got that guy that you're working with who's now the highest pay, I mean, I'm sure in some of their minds it's like, oh, we want some of that.
Exactly. I mean, Watt's, but Watt's all world. I mean, he's just one of the best players in professional football. I can see him, and he changes a game. He can make plays to change the game. Can Hayward? Well, no, but he's good. I mean, he's really good, but he's not a game changer. There are very few game changers in the NFL. Watt's one of them. He is. So.
All right. Let's do this real quick. You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Mr. Sports, Bruce Peterson with us here this morning.
Baseball.
Oh.
The Pirates have called up their top pitching prospect, Bubba Chandler. He will pitch long relief out of the bullpen. He is the top prospect in baseball. So, and they look for him to be probably a starter next year, one of the starters next year. Really good, has a great resume. I'm not saying he's good as Scanes, but he's close. And they got another guy, Seth Rodriguez, who they drafted number 1 this year, who is also going to be a really good pitcher. But he's a year or two away. But you never know. And then I want to talk about Connor Griffin. I keep talking about this guy, but they moved him up to Double-A. And the first game he gets a hit, an RBI, and a stolen base. First game. This kid's amazing. He is the fastest rising player that I've seen with the Pirates since Roberto Clemente. Remember him? Yeah.
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 I was just confused. You said Double-A. I was just assuming you meant the Pirates, but that's
no. He went from low A to high A.
I was joking.
Yeah. In 1 year.
Yeah.
And he's 19 years and 117 days old.
Oh wow.
He's a kid. He's the youngest player ever to play at Altoona. I mean, you have to understand what this kid has done. He was in high school last year. High school. Like Titusville. High school. Now, it was a big high school, and he was the star player. He was all conference, all league, all state, whatever, but he was in high school. And this year he's already at his third team in the minor league system, already up to Double-A.
Wow.
And he's already making a presence felt there. I mean, the kid is phenomenally good. I keep talking about this kid, but he's one of the best young prospects I've ever seen come up through the Pirate system, ever. So he's going to be fun when he gets to the major league level. Let me put it that way.
When could that happen?
Next year.
Okay.
I think he'll start. Let me tell you this. If he does well in spring training, he could start the season in Pittsburgh. I don't think he will. I think they're going to put him in Indianapolis, give him a little cup of coffee there for a month or so, and then bring him up. But he'll be in Pittsburgh next summer. Absolutely. And probably playing well. So this kid is the real deal, as they say. So, Connor Griffin. Don't forget that name. Penn State. Their first game is on the 30th, which I think is next weekend? Week from Saturday, yeah. They play Nevada.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Then on and that's a 3:30 game. Listen to these times. The second game they play Florida International. That's a 3:30 game, so we're prime time. Villanova. No, I'm sorry. Florida International is at noon. Villanova is at 3:30 the following week, at 13th, and then they have a week off. And then September 27th they play Oregon at 7:30, which is their whiteout game. So their fourth game is their whiteout game against Oregon. So
wow, it's hard to believe it starts next week, and then the fourth game is the end of September.
They play 3 games. They have a week off.
Yeah, but
then they play Oregon, and then they also have a week off before Ohio State. which I said last week.
Yeah.
So before their biggest games, they get a week off. Now, and they don't make the schedules, but the schedule maker has really been kind to them because having a week off before those big games is huge. You get a chance to heal up. You get a chance to prep. You get an extra week of prepping, and it's all good. So I did want to talk about, I want to go over the top 10 players for the Lions.
Okay.
And 4 of these are preseason All-Americans, and all of these players could be all-conference. That's how good this team is. So number 10 is tied. There's Luke Reynolds, a tight end who was a freshman last year. Really good player. And he's tied with Trevor Pena, a wide receiver, who will probably be their best wide receiver, although they have a couple of youngsters coming up that are really going to be good. Number 9 is Tony Rojas. He's their best linebacker, could very well be all-conference. Vega Ione is a guard. He's a preseason All-American. A mountain of a man. Weighs 330 pounds and has no body fat. Just big, powerful. I would not want to run into him. Let me put it that way. 7 is Zachy Wheatley, a big, strong, powerful safety. Number 6 is Zane Durant, a defensive tackle. He's also a preseason All-American. You like to have All-Americans at the tackle position because that's a very disruptive position in the middle of the defensive line. A.J. Harris, defensive back, is number 5. Penn State has great defenders at the back end of their defense. He's one of the best. Number 4 is Katron Allen, their two-headed monster running back. Number 3 is Drew Aller, the quarterback, who also, by the way, is one of their captains of the team, which is good to see. Number 2 is Dennis Sutton, a potentially all-conference, all-American defensive end. And, of course, Nicholas Singleton, one of the best running backs in the country, is number 1. So when you look at this list, they have some really good players at Penn State. And I didn't mention all the good players, Luke. There's some of the ones that are on this list that are really good, and they're going to have a very impactful experience with this team. And I think if you look at their offensive and defensive lines, they're both going to be a couple of the best in college football. Offensive line, I think everybody's back except one player. So, and if you're going to win, you need the big boys. And Penn State has a lot of big boys.
If you're Nevada, what are you thinking going into this game? Just, hey,
exactly.
Get some experience.
Money,
okay.
It's all about money.
And if you're Penn State, you don't want to go into it going, okay, it's the Wolfpack. I mean,
well, you look at the first 3 games. I mean, Nevada, Florida International, Villanova. Is anybody there scary? These are preseason games. These are preseason games. These are warm-ups. This is get the guys out, get them playing, get some practice, get some experience, get your routines down, then you play Oregon in game number 4. Now you're ready to play, hopefully.
If you're Ohio State and you're looking at the AP top 25, you got Texas 1, Penn State, then Ohio State. Does that kind of tick you off as Ohio State?
But I think in the one poll, Ohio State's 3, and the other one they're 2. So between the coaches and the AP, they're switched.
Yeah, coaches poll, yeah. Texas, Ohio State, then Penn State.
So they're I don't think it really matters. There's a rivalry between Penn State and Ohio State. There has been for years. That's going to be Penn State's big game, like it is every year. And it's been a while since they beat Ohio State. So, and this year they play them over there, so that's going to be a tough game. But
I'm used to seeing Alabama up in the mix, and
yeah, well, they're in the top 10. They're not quite as good since Saban left, but they're still good. They're one of those teams, Luke, that they recruit really well. And in college football, it's all about recruiting. And that's what James Franklin has done for Penn State. Recruiting. He's been the best recruiter I've seen there since the early days of Joe Paterno.
You ever watch the video on YouTube on Alabama's locker rooms and setup? They're state of the art. Look it up.
I'm sure.
It'll make you sick.
I'm sure that it's
I don't know how anybody
high-tech, beautiful.
I don't know how anybody would want to leave there to go play in the NFL.
Yeah, but they're not the only ones that have locker rooms like that.
No, but it's impressive.
Well, there's money down there.
That's
lots of money.
Some of these guys going from that to like Latrobe for.
True. Exactly. Exactly. It's gonna be a downgrade to go to the pros.
And for some, as you've been saying, the money.
Yeah. Exactly.
Bruce, good to see you.
You too, my friend. Right. Next week will be our college edition, and then in 2 weeks will be our NFL edition.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.